21. The Denver Broncos annihilate the Cincinnati Bengals at home on Monday Night Football. An absolute destruction of both ways there. Well, for Denver over Cincinnati. You can be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call online at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing, as we have a very busy day here on ESPN Radio. Very busy day on our show, but then 12:30 p.m. Eastern, we got 4 Major League Baseball playoff games.
Let's go.
Also on ESPN, Padres and Cubs. Also on ABC, Red Sox and Yankees. CC has already hand-waved the Red Sox, guaranteeing victory for the Yankees. 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And the Reds and the Dodgers, 8:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Huge day for us. Hello, Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about today's wildcard game between the Yankees and the Red Sox. A good spot.
Why are you feeling so confident in your squad?
Because they can't lose.
Okay.
Because the manager knows if he loses the game, if he loses the series, he's going to be fired.
So it's quite literally win or go home.
Yes.
In multiple ways.
Yes. Yeah, but not only go home, make sure you get all of your stuff out of your office, give us your key card, give us your access, and be gone. Have a nice life.
Go home like wherever you actually live, not because you're living in the tri-state area because of the Yankees.
And you probably can't stay in the tri-state area either.
Oh, boy.
You probably need to leave.
Jeez.
You can't lose to the Red Sox.
So loser leaves town match. It's not even a win or go home. It's loser leaves town.
Well, and nothing's going to happen to the Boston Red Sox. They're ahead of schedule. But if the Yankees lose this wild card series, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Smoke in the city.
If you lose a wild card series, period, it's a problem for Aaron Boone and the
But
Yankees.
you lose to the Red Sox.
It carries a little bit more weight, as we know. A little bit more oomph on that one.
Well, you could say it used to be a rivalry game between the Dolphins and the Jets, but the Dolphins have won 10 straight home games against the New York Jets, and the Dolphins lost 27-21. Tua goes 17-25, 177 and 2 touchdowns. The unfortunate news for the Dolphins is Tyreek Hill is done for the season. Horrible, gruesome leg injury, a kneecap issue, an ACL issue. Adam Schefter has all the latest reporting. He'll join us after 8 a.m. Eastern. So obviously a huge theme for the Miami Dolphins. And the Jets are winless. They're 0-4, and same old, you heard coming back there, a little same old. That's the thing with the Jets. Same old Jets is what the critique has been, and Aaron Glenn, their head coach, has said, well, we're not the same old Jets. They're 0-4. They record-wise are. Before we get to the Dolphins, a quick message to the Jets from me, who's not a Jets fan. If you hired this guy in the first place, you have to give him the time to fix the culture. You have to give him, well, these are the Jets. You cannot have a quick hook. You cannot get antsy. You almost can't care that you're losing. You just have to care about 3 to 5 years. You can't care about this year. So I'm saying that now because they are the same old Jets if they actually care about losing this game. They're not the same old Jets if they just simply say, we hired Dan Campbell part 2. Dan Campbell's team stunk in year 1, and look what's happened since. They're the same old Jets if they act on this or care about this.
So then is it not how Aaron Glenn starts the season, but how he finishes the season?
150 million %.
Because right now, it obviously does not
It's awful
look good.
right now.
I mean, they're 0-4, first time since 2020. Season high in penalties and turnovers, just sloppy football.
They're the same old Jets.
It does feel like the same old Jets, except there have been moments in these first 4 games, even in losses, where you do feel like you see glimpses of what Aaron Glenn could do with this team. So you're right, they have to be patient. And I don't know what their benchmarker would be to determine that things are trending in the right direction, but he seems like a guy who can build a great culture, and I hope that they do give him the runway to do so.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I see a lot of the Dan Campbell comparison there. Dan Campbell, 3-13-1 in his first year.
Yeah.
It didn't look great. They were amongst the most penalized teams in the leagues. A lot of miscues, communication breakdowns, and then frustrations boiling over. But if you're Aaron Glenn, this brand of football is unacceptable. And you sent the message after week 1 in cutting Xavier Gibson after fumbling that kickoff return. I don't know what the message has to be after this Monday night meltdown, but it needs to be strong. Because you shouldn't tolerate losing a football game that way. It's different if you're outmanned, the other team has more talent, the other team has a better scheme. There are matchup issues across the league. So much of wins and losses in the NFL is matchup and adjust. But last night, the Jets didn't even give themselves a chance. You had 16 called penalties, 13 accepted. 6 of them were pre-snap penalties on offense between false starts and illegal shifts. You could see Aaron Glenn screaming down the sideline at Tanner Engstrom, just stop the motion, stop the shifts, because we don't do it well. You could see it. And then on top of that, what you saw with the post-snap penalties, the personal fouls, that is completely unacceptable. And then the turnovers, for God's sakes. You had 2 opportunities in plus territory in the first half and didn't get any points out of it. One should have been a field goal. Justin Fields ends up fumbling on 4th down. The other one, Braylon Allen's got the ball going into the end zone for a touchdown and fumbles the ball. The Miami Dolphins get that ball and go all the way down the field and score a touchdown. That's a 14-point swing. Those are the types of things that make you easy to beat. So I know we're going to spend some time talking about the Dolphins and this being an inflection point for that franchise, that head coach, that quarterback. But guys, I got to be honest with you. To me, it was a lot less about the Miami Dolphins winning that game and a lot more about the New York Jets giving it away. And if you're Aaron Glenn, that cannot be acceptable.
100% agree. There's no argument there. They are currently the same old Jets. They become not the same old Jets if they do nothing about this. And I mean that in a good way. Aaron Glenn's going to do something about it. Front office and ownership, leave him alone. Let him fix this, right? You hired him for a reason. The flip side of it, though.
But I think the brand of football is what people are concerned with. Because you say same old Jets and everybody says, yeah, the product on the field is awful. That's what everybody sees. And there is no argument, there is no pushback. There are some things that they are doing well that I think are positive signs that can be foundational. Remember, Dan Campbell, what did he do? He wanted it to be toughness. He wanted it to be physicality. Well, guess what? The Jets are tough and they're physical, especially on the offensive side of the ball. That offensive line can run the football now. They can give people some problems. And so I think being able to establish elements of your identity and what will be winning football in the future is important in the here and now. So when you're watching the Jets games, yeah, the miscues are going to drive you crazy. The penalties and turnovers will drive you crazy, and they should. But there are also some things that you want to look at and say, that's something that can lead to winning football in the future. And I think the Jets' run game on the offensive side of the ball is something that fans can look forward to.
Well, give the Miami Dolphins a ton of credit because they did win a game when they had to. There was a lot of pressure, obviously, on their head coach, general manager, quarterback. They got it done last night, even after, unfortunately for them, losing Tyreek Hill. Mike McDaniels, the head coach of the Dolphins, and had this to say about his team post the Tyreek Hill injury last night.
I can just open my eyes and see an entire team and stadium and organization that doesn't have time for my feelings. I've never hesitate to, talk about how I invest in players, and that's a gigantic piece. But as a leader, head coach, play caller, I have to be adept at rising to the occasion for the group.
So this team was atop the hot mess standings a week ago, and it does feel slightly different right now. I'm not suggesting they're making the playoffs. I'm not suggesting they may not fall back into a hot mess. But you get that win last night. The Tyreek Hill injury obviously is awful. But if you look at their schedule, they have Carolina, they have Cleveland, they have Atlanta. They have October 30th, Thursday night against Baltimore. And who knows what Baltimore team that is if Lamar's playing or not. They have New Orleans. They have the Jets again. They have New England again. They have Cincinnati. They have wins to be had. Now, every one of those teams looks at the Dolphins and says the exact same thing, that they have a win to be had. But was last night maybe possibly a turning point for the Dolphins?
A positive one?
That was my reaction.
I mean, I know they won the game, but they beat the Jets, and the Jets beat themselves.
And they lost their best player.
And the offense is built around said player that they lost.
Yeah.
Which means that we're going to have to ask Tua to be even better and the rest of the team, which we don't have belief in, to step up even more. So I know that you're looking at the schedule and saying maybe it's a bit favorable for them, but I don't know how we think any game could be a win on the Dolphins schedule when you lose Tyreek Hill. Like, they're going to have to win games the way they did last night, which is the other team beating themselves.
Agreed. You'd rather have Tyreek Hill than not. He's one of the best players in the NFL. Is he a fit with Tua We're not sure about that in terms of their personalities, and I just wonder, and I'm not suggesting this is a good thing at all, that Tyreek Hill's not there. Is there something that Tua is now going to have to do different that puts him in a better position to win? Maybe he needs more actually put on him.
Are you
I'm
thinking
just
like
asking.
Josh Allen, Steph Diggs?
I'm just wondering aloud. I don't think you ever sign up for Tyreek Hill to not be on your football field. Like, that's crazy to not want him on your team in terms of that perspective. I am wondering if what is being asked of Tua moving forward could be helpful to Tua versus hurtful. I'm wondering.
We've never seen Tua be good without Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. So now, at least now you know your answer, right? You've said all along that if the Dolphins stink, you got to shut them down because you can't be on the hook for the money next year.
Wait, shut it. Tyreek Hill is gone. And so we'll see what the Miami Dolphins do and how competitive they are over their next 4 games. That'll tell the tale of the season. They'll make a definitive determination before the trade deadline, second week of November. I just have a hard time envisioning this team, this offense, being what it would need to be in order to consistently win football games this year, because you're missing a huge element of it, which is Tyreek Hill's speed.
Yeah.
And even if he's not getting the ball, he's impacting the defense in terms of what they can do, the coverages they can run, the amount of defenders that are in the box, just because he's a threat to score anytime he touches the ball anywhere on the field. That's now out of your offense.
Right.
So I don't know where they go from here, but it's clear that they're going to be putting more on Tua, and I don't know that that's a good thing. That leads to anywhere good for Miami.
I totally understand that sentiment, and I'm not arguing that in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
They have a different viewpoint of him than we do. I think this injury, unfortunately, if what we think could happen, which is maybe he does not perform well, there's no argument anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Your offense is one guy, and it's not the quarterback. And when your offense is one guy and it's not the quarterback, then you don't have an offense. And so you may get the ultimate result that you're talking about of the shutdown to save you for next year. I just think you're going to get there in a different way, because there are wins to be had on that schedule. And if they don't get them when they're putting more onto it, there's your answer. There's no debate anymore about that. You're asking him to do more. You're playing against teams that are not world beaters, and you're still losing. Well, then you have your answer. Shut him down, as you suggested. He's not the guy. But now we're going to really know. I mean, now we're going to have a test here. I mean, you're at Carolina next week. They're not very good right now. You should be able to win that game.
Yeah, but Carolina just smoked the Atlanta Falcons 2 weeks ago, 30-0.
And they're looking at the Miami Dolphins without Tyreek Hill and saying,
that's
a win.
1,000%.
I still don't understand it. That may be the most surprising result of the entire NFL season.
Carolina smoking Atlanta?
The Packers losing to the Browns.
Yeah, that was it.
I was shocked.
We'll put a pin in that one.
That put a lot of people out in Survivor. I can guarantee it.
Oh, you're looking at one.
Really?
Yeah, but she wanted to lose. She didn't want to have to update it every week.
No, I also thought, what a slam dunk win.
That's what I would have said.
Based on what you saw out of Green Bay the first 2 weeks going to Cleveland, I was like, that's
Joe
a win.
Flacco's been a turnover machine.
That's a win.
Well, last night in Denver, there was some energy with the Broncos. CC, they must have had some 5-hour energy pregame.
All right, family. I'll be back with another one.